What's up, everybody? Good to be back for another Wednesday night stream. We got a absolute ton to talk about. Obviously, we're in the thick of it as far as PQ season, so we have that to discuss. We also have a couple community topics that I wanted to I don't know, just kind of discuss, give some open thoughts, and kind of, I don't know, just kind of share some viewpoints. Maybe I would be very, very interested to see how the people in chat think. Basically, some of the topics we're going to be talking about is I know there was a big discussion about like AI art, and I kind of wanted to. I have a background in machine learning and AI, so I wanted to kind of also give a little perspective there. But just because I have that background doesn't mean I necessarily just hands down support, all of that, of course. But and we're gonna get into all of that, and then also the community reception on LL just seems really dicey right now. There's a couple people that I've seen that like are enjoying it, but like, man, I've seen tens, if not hundreds, of people literally on Twitter saying that the format is just dog shit. And I kind of wanted to discuss it. I wanted to kind of just break it all down and say, you know, what is it? First, we have to define it. Kind of like what are some advantages of having that as a format? Maybe think about some things that is kind of where's the friction? Obviously, there's friction. I want to try to just nail down where that friction is because I don't have the answer, and that's why I was hoping that I could have some type of discussion with chat on that exact topic because it's tough. I have personal opinions, obviously, but like at the same time, like who really gives a shit about the personal opinion, right? Like, um, I'm just gonna say it how I feel about it, and then we can agree, disagree, whatever the case may be. But it's interesting to say the least. Hang on one second. Sorry about that. Um, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Um, best of three is not. Uh, so best of three, you're referring to the top eight, right? Because it's not best of three in Swiss. I'd be interested to hear that viewpoint later. Um, and to the deep end. There's no way. I mean, that's a good point. That is a good point. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna discuss it. I think that it's a topic that's you know obviously it's worth talking about because the community has dictated that. But more importantly, I think James caught some heat that I don't think he actually deserved. Right, and I kind of want to explain my thought process, which could be wrong. And we'll go and since we're already kind of building up to it, we'll just go ahead and start with that subject. Um, basically. And yeah, so we're gonna go AI art to LL. Then we're gonna just do a quick summary on PQ season if we have time. We're gonna do some RKO games at the end, which is obviously what I played at my PQ this past weekend. I played RKO. Went really well. I lost to one Verdance Runaways player, Jason, that went to win the whole thing. I lost against him in Swiss, and then got absolutely juiced by a KO in top four. Rolled he double blood rush bellow, rolled a six, and I just died. I just like rolled over and died. Um, so let's just go ahead and break it down. Okay, the promos, by the way, are absolutely sick. Amazing job on the PQ promos. The overcrowded looks amazing. The gate art, whatever it is, just phenomenal. And then of course swing big. Who doesn't like swing big? So let's go ahead and start with the AI topic. So James caught a lot of heat from the picture, which was obviously AI generated Dromai art, and people were rising up and saying that, it's replacing artists, and there were a lot of good opinions on why that's dangerous, right? But I wanted to kind of, give a couple thoughts on it. And feel free to push back in chat. If you're like, no, that's wrong, that's fucked up, let me know. I'm more than happy to have that discussion. But when a card is, I guess the term would be commissioned, right? When a gaming company seeks a commission of art, okay, they don't just say, paint me something, right? Or draw me something or what, right? They have to have guidance, right? Whether it be the theme, whether it be what they're looking for. And I think recall somebody, I don't know who it was. I think it was during one of the I think it was during one of the keynote speeches that somebody asked the question of like, what is the process? I think somebody just literally laid it all out there, and it was basically like they present the idea, the premise, right? And that could even be a little bit of art, right? And then they basically commission the piece, right? And then they basically name the card and all of that. So the main point that I wanted to make was kind of one, James could very well be just using the AI for that initial generation, right? First of all, I'm not saying that's what he's using it for because I don't fucking know. Nobody does, right? I'm just saying that that is a possibility. And I think that there's zero harm in doing so, right? With the exception of one thing. So when we're referring to AI art, okay, basically you have an algorithm, machine learning algorithm that is trained on pieces of art, right? And you can either own that art or you can not own that art. And that is kind of where the line is drawn, in my opinion, in regards to the topic. And so, if theoretically, if they buy the art, right? Also in the purchasing of art, there's two different types of agreement, right? There is, I am just buying this piece and I own the piece in which it's painted on, right? Or there is, I am buying this piece and, you know, um, I'm buying this piece, but also I'm actually getting a altar that I had done out. Um, so this is a great example. This is a rune chant token that Mara Ferris, the wonderful Mara Ferris, did for me, and I basically gave her the guidance of I wanted a rune chant that resembled each rune blade at the time. This was before Rosetta came out, so you obviously had, let me get my finger right. You had Briar, you had Chain, you have Benny, you have Viscerai, right? And it just kind of resembles each, right? Now she painted this, right? So I own the card, but there was no agreement in I can't reproduce this, right? Technically. Um, but if there was an agreement where like I own the digital rights to this, then theoretically, I would see no harm in training a localized model with this art because I own the digital rights. I don't own the digital rights. I'm just saying if I did, if that agreement was made, I don't see any problem with that. So it's basically up to the artist to make that agreement. Can the art that I produce be trained on an algorithm? If that agreement is yes, then as long as the AI model that is used is only trained on imagery that they have purchased, there is nothing wrong. I don't know if that's what they do or not. I have no clue. But what I'm saying is that if they do that, That is the way to do it. They have purchased that art, they have the rights to it, and they can train on it as long as they have permission from the artist. That's the key point. If they're just using a random training model, then yes, that's a huge problem, right? Because you're taking the creativity from like 1,000 different people and combining it into one, right? That's very clear distinguishing difference, right? Um, and there's also the argument of, well, that's not even like being produced. That could be just, I think what was actually stated was that it was just a placeholder and that card is not actually produced. I don't think we've been in any situation where LSS has produced AI generated art on a card. So if it's just a placeholder, like I'm just gonna say how how I think who gives a fuck, right? If we're being 100% honest. And so I just wanted to give a little bit of perspective there on kind of the nuance. Now, once again, everything I said doesn't prove or disprove anything because we don't know. We don't know the answer to that. But you know, placeholder images don't seem bad. The art literally has confidential stamped across it. It wasn't ever meant to be public viewing. Exactly. Exactly. So I think that it's perfectly fine. Most people are creative but don't make art. AI is cool until it comes for your bread maker. Anyone who is patronizing a thief is a thief. Um AI is cool until it comes okay. Most people are creative. I don't understand your stance. I mean, if you have the digital rights to something, then I don't see the problem in in training a model on it. Like if you have explicit permission from the artist, like I don't see what the issue is. Any artist should never agree with it being used for AI art though. And that is where we have to put on our big boy and big girl pants and make that decision. You sign a contract, right? Anybody that exchanges goods and services signs a contract, whether it's written down or agreed upon, whatever the case may be. And that's up to those people. Um, like something could be worth $10 and somebody sells it for one, but nobody's like raising their pitchforks for them, right? Like it doesn't really. I agree with you. If I was an artist, I wouldn't out unless you paid like 10 times what it would normally cost, I would never give that permission, right? But the problem is that if you don't give that permission, a bunch of other people do. The same thing happens because everybody's just worried about being replaced, right? That's like ultimately what the greatest fear is, and understandably, right? I don't disagree with that aspect. And then once if everything, you know, if everything gets replaced, then there is no art. Everyone is missing the point. Any AI generated AI stole work. We know this. LSS giving money to Gen AI is giving money to those things. Okay, so I don't know anything about that program. I don't deal with AI imaging in any way. Never even worked with it. I just have an understanding of AI and how it works. So any platform that I have used, right? If you look at like DeepSeek or any AI platform or any machine learning platform, right? Most providers, you have an option to host a local algorithm or you have the option to use the web-based one, right? And like I don't know if Gen AI works that way. I have no clue. I'm just saying that's why I can't jump. If that's the only way they offer services based on a web based thing, then okay, I get what you're saying. Makes perfect sense. I just don't want to jump to conclusions if that's not the case, right? But final production will always be commissioned by actual artists, right? And that's the other aspect, right? It's like Flesh and Blood is obviously not to the point. I don't know if Magic uses AI art or not. I don't have any idea. I don't keep up with Magic, but LSS is doing a huge favor to the artist community by commissioning art, right? And I don't think that they're actively trying to stop that, right? And so I do think that certain actions can warrant a certain level of just trust and understanding, right? It's like you could go you could sit there and like take care of like thousands of homeless people, but then somebody criticizes you for doing it the wrong way a few times. And it's like, okay, like you're probably right. Like it probably was not done the correct way, but it doesn't discredit the fact that you've done all of that. They have commissioned thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces of art and supported the artist community, right? MTG does not allow use of AI in their art. Okay, in their commissioned art. Hard agree. Pretty sure type of Twitter mob. Yeah, model need too much information. They can't possibly pay to acquire enough artwork to get it off the ground. So that is right. You need a lot of parameters to get a good model, right? That is entirely true. But that's still a legit way. And also, one thing to keep in mind, especially in regards to the imagery of AI generation, the the more narrow your field is, the less samples you actually need, or the less things you need to actually train off of. So if the art is very similar, there's very like same style, like you need a fraction of what you would normally need. If they're, you know, if they would nest closer together, right? But yeah, ultimately you're 100% right. You need a very large amount of data to actually train off of for it to be possible. So my final stance, and we'll move on after this. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're doing things the right way. Did they use AI to make a placeholder? Like, I mean, come on. Like, let let if they make it on a commissioned art and actually release it on a card, then let's roast them. Let's do that. Grand Archive has some AI art. A big reason I don't like it, and that's fair. 100% get it. Favorite to art community, I gotta disagree with. LSS ain't owed anything by artists short of what they pay for. It's like saying I'm doing McDonald's a favor by buying a hamburger. You are doing McDonald's a favor by buying a hamburger, right? You could like not buy the hamburger. Yes, there is a exchange for said hamburger. You are provided something, you provide something for them. Um, but at the end of the day, whoever buys anything has the ultimate level of power. That is true with any economic system on the planet. The buyer has, at the end of the day, unless there is such a shortage in that commodity, which I think there are a lot of talented artists, right? By no means am I saying that it's easy to find a good artist. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's probably a lot more people buying art than making it. Is what would be my ultimate point. Therefore, it would be a buyer's market. So yes, in the grand scheme of things, I think they are doing a favor to the art community. Um, that may sound a little harsh and transactional, but in reality, that's just how it boils down. Like, imagine, it and that is a good point. Importantly, though, we are the buyers, and that is 100% correct. Like, ultimate, we are the buyers of the product, and they are the producers of the product. 100%, you are absolutely correct. Um, and we probably ain't buying as much fab if it was AI art, and they know that, and that's why it's not AI art, and they're just using it as a placeholder. Like I'm just saying, crazy that nobody acknowledges the environmental aspect. Everybody knows that LSS pays artists well. That's where I'm getting at. Like, I think they do the right thing. I'm like, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt here. Like, I get it. Um, But anyway, I think we actually spent more time than I thought we would. But great discussion, and I appreciate everybody's viewpoint on it. Oh, it's about the image James tweeted. Doubt this was anything more than just a play. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it's just a placeholder for future development. It's such a placeholder that Dromeyes wasn't. He said that it was going to come out in like 2027. So that set like probably isn't even being actively designed now. It's probably the next set or getting around the corner. But anyway, let's talk about the actual game now instead of just the art of it. But so we have LL, okay, Living Legend format, and currently I have seen an enormous amount of discourse on just how bad it is. There are some people that definitely have there are some people that are saying that they actually enjoy it, right? But at the same time, I would say for every one person I see say they enjoy it, probably see about 20 that say they hate it. To the point to where they're saying that, um, you know, to the point to where they're saying that they're not going to worlds or the calling attached to worlds or whatever the case may be. And normally I would not give credit to that discussion, right? Because it's just one side of the equation being louder, right? But unfortunately, there's data backing up this statement, right? You have the calling, which is nowhere near sold out because it's LL. And you have the Battle Harden the day after that's classic constructed. It sold out. Then they made a second one because it sold out so fast. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that one has sold out. So they sold out 2 Battle Hardens and like I haven't even seen a poster saying only 30% of tickets left in the LL calling or anything. I haven't seen any of that shit. And they usually always do that. Another data point. Have we the community seen the Living Legend ProQuest numbers? The chart was actually a meme, okay? It showed I'm actually going to pull it up because this shit had me dying because if you're not good at math, like not even math, but just numbers, like oh, this is too good. Oh, this is too good. This is actually great. And I'm not digging on them. Like they went 2 weeks without bringing it up. They had to post something, right? Like I get it. But here, oh my god, I'm actually crying, brother. Holy shit. This actually had me fucking weak. This shit is hilarious. Okay. So those of you who are numerically challenged, this basically means they all won 1 and then Viscera won 2. And you know, it's just fucking hilarious because it looks like, oh man, we need to ban something from Viscera. He's gonna be a problem when really he just like happened to won one. He won 1 more. It was just hilarious because there is absolutely 0 value in this chart. Like actually 0. There's like no benefit here at all. And the interesting part is like it's like I mean this has to be like a 20-to-1 ratio. 20 is aggressive. It has to be like a 8-to-1 ratio probably, where there's 8 times more CC ProQuest than there are Living Legend. And on the surface, that doesn't actually mean anything because we don't, at least I don't know if I know some stores get the ability to actually like choose whether they're going to actively, run this format or this format, but some don't get to choose, is my understanding. It's like the first wave or two, you get like the option, and then the last wave, it's like you are going to run this. Um, which, if it is ran that way, that means they do hit like their critical minimums theoretically, if they have any say so. But I don't know. My ultimate point is that there is multiple data points to suggest that the community is just not digging it. Okay. Uh, Let me get caught up in chat real quick. It's such a niche format that you gotta groom it. I mean, that's true. Um, LL feels like a format for the gooners who got their waifus LL. I mean, you could be right. This post says, "Look, guys, the format is super diverse and fun." No, the format is they played a couple games, is is what it says. Like, it's just no value, no value. But I see what you're saying. They're calling it the most open field of all time. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Until you actually play it. If you are a store, you are given the choice between CC or LL. You will pick CC every time if you care about your attendance. Yes, and that's what I'm getting at, right? Is like, okay, the overwhelmingly the stores, the players have spoken. They would rather not, right? Um, Now this is where I actually wanted to dig down and have a discussion, right? Because all that's like face up, right? That's just an observation. I wanted to have a discussion on trying to identify why the fuck that is, right? Why are players not wanting to play this format? And it's kind of a doozy, right? And I need your help in chat on this one. I really do, because I have thoughts, but my thoughts, in my opinion, are a player that's been playing this game for 4 years, right? I have experienced every CC meta in the United States ever, right? And I just need to like understand what other people's perception of it is. Like, if you're a player that's only been playing the past year, do you like not give a shit about it? So if you don't mind, whoever's watching right now, do me a favor. In chat, just type in your background. You've been playing the game this many years, and what you feel about LL, and kind of, what you think is doing it for you or not doing it for you. If anybody wouldn't mind, please do that, because I'm looking for answers. I don't have them. I'm looking for them, and it's just interesting because I have some, while people are typing stuff in. Hopefully, some people can provide some of that, and you know, basically, the format is very wild, right? Like, there's a lot of format, or there's a lot of like decks that just, if they draw the 4 card hand, right, they're just gonna blow you the fuck up, right? It's just what is going to happen. And unfortunately, in a game where you draw 4 brand new cards every single turn, you the use of hand traps doesn't make sense, right? And I'll give you an example, comparing it to another game. Let's say in Yu-Gi-Oh, we're gonna dig down into before I get caught up in chat. Um, you know, if you take the Yu-Gi-Oh example, right, which I think a lot of people would kind of draw that line to it. Um, you draw, I forget how many cards you draw in Yu-Gi-Oh. I think it's like 7, maybe I don't know. I know it's more than 4. So you draw a bunch of cards, right? And the probability of having a hand trap or a card that is very specific to negate what your opponent is trying to do is a lot more likely. Whereas Flesh and Blood, you have to, in these decks that are actively trying to do like ridiculous shit. And we're talking about cards like Diplomacy, Hypothermia, you know, cards like that. that just like stop people from doing degenerate shit. But basically, in a game mechanic system where you're drawing 4 cards every single turn, it's it's tough because you can't, yes, you have the arsenal, you have the ability to sit on it, yes. Um, but also at the same time, I mean, there's play around that, right? There's cards like Plow Under and CNC, right? Like there's counters to that, which I guess is healthy. You don't ever want a state where you can just sit on it and forever and not worry about it like that. I'm not suggesting that. I I just wonder if like the flow of cards influences the idea of the hand trap, right? Is the card dynamic different? And is it better? Is it worse? I don't know. I'm just suggesting an idea. I have no clue. So let me read some of the comments. I'm very curious of what people are kind of feeling about the format because and then after we read some, or I guess I'll kind of go into mine. And it kind of alludes to what I just said a little bit. Been playing the game for a long time, so the nostalgia factor is there for me personally, right? Because I do get the opportunity to play some of these older heroes that I don't get to play with anymore. So that's a positive in my mind, right? But at the same time, I do not like the ability of having absolutely no agency, right? Like I understand that, and it does feel like that. However, I would really encourage. So it was actually yesterday where my viewpoint on LL changed. I ran into a deck. I'm not going to mention what deck it was. It seemed very oppressive. Okay. I, on the top of my dome, figured out a very neat solution for that problem. And I solved it in the deck that I intend to play at Worlds, which I will not also mention at this time. Um, but we all know it's a Rune Blade. And I came up with a solution. Okay. The pure dopamine of figuring that puzzle out was it was phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. It was absolutely phenomenal. Is that gonna transition in a tournament? Getting luck sacked or however you want, or getting juiced, like however you want, but I don't know. But I don't know. It's like it's creating bigger problems to solve. So when you do solve them, it's like, holy shit, we still got it, right? Like you're like, yeah, we got it. Okay. And I don't know. It's a different experience. In the game, it feels a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. Like you're like doing the right thing. You're like, yeah, I'm doing my game plan, and then boom, you just die, right? It just happens. And of course, just like any card game, it's great for the person that's doing the killing, and it's terrible for the person dying, right? It just is what it is. But I just want to kind of give the surface level of my viewpoint so far. Um, so let's go ahead and just let's see what everybody's saying. Runeblade and Starvo ruin it. That's awkward. Just said I'm playing Runeblade. My bad. And have since its inception. That's my perception. It's solved and swingy. It's a lot like Blitz in that way. So, my personal opinion, if you think Starvo is what's holding the format back, I don't think you've solved it. I'm not saying Starvo is bad in any way, but if you think that he is the gatekeeper, this one's on the house. Keep testing the format because he ain't the one doing it. It's all I'm saying. He's not the one doing it. Um, LL is just blitz. Game over in turn 3. That is a fair analysis. I got no counterpoint to that. I mean, it's some of the games feel like that. Some of them drag out. Like it does depend. But yes, you can just have oop, you dead, right? Kind of games. LL feels like a format where you're supposed to go back and play a hero you liked before since they LL'd, but it's not that. So when somebody wants to play Oldhim again, it's just not a fun time. I 100% agree with that. I think the delta between I think the delta between actively oh, you said run it, not ruin it. Okay. My bad. So, reading and the Alabama education system do not go together, okay? In case anybody didn't know that. So, I do agree with you. It is a shitty spot, and I'm kind of in that spot, but I have an easy way out, right? So everybody knows that I love playing Briar. It's been my I've played it since the day it came out and the day it left, and didn't play anything in between. For years I played Briar and loved every second of it, and I would love the opportunity to play that deck again. However, in LL, it's not it. It literally you are trolling if you're playing Briar in LL. I'm just telling you that. You can disagree if you want, but that's just my opinion. You are absolutely trolling if you're playing that hero. However, there are some other Runeblade options that I have played that make a lot of sense. So I am, I have an avenue, but I do understand, like, if you like playing Oldhim, that there's no correlation to Starvo necessarily. So I do understand that point, and so I guess the nostalgia only applies if you have a hero that's like meta relevant. I guess is the way to say it. It's very interesting. In a best of one format, why play a format that produces so many non games? Fair point. It's a fair point. I've played since Rosetta and I play a lot of CC and lucky to attend PT Singapore. I think LO is a format I have no interest in learning at all. Not only do I not have the cards, but it seems super sacky. Okay, so that's fair. So it's more, there's the observation that there's a lot of friction with the format. And you don't think it's worth the investment, both time, learning, and actually, playing. Or buying the cards. That's fair. Verdance is dumb, just kills me. Yep, that's fair. That is fair. Been playing since November 2019. I'm a TO, and I've been to most majors. I was excited for LL, but 90% of the heroes aren't viable. Flesh and Rune Blades live strong in that format. But there's diplomacies. How can you say that when there's 3 diplomacies in like every deck? For the record, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm gonna enjoy it while I got it. When the CC meta is already engaging enough and draft is fun. Yeah, but okay. Insert conversation. Draft is fun. Competitive players love draft, except for me. Um, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed High Seas a lot. I thought that was a phenomenal limited format. But you can't argue with the fact that if you have a stream, if Ethan's running a stream and you have Classic Constructed going on, the second it gets to limited, okay, the second, boom, 40% of the stream drops off. Nobody's interested in watching it. Now, counterpoint, should we make game competitive decisions based on viewership? Well, that's where it becomes like a growth versus friction equation, and like you're kind of weighing things out. So like I'm not saying one is right or one's not. I'm not getting anywhere near that because I don't know what their needs or goals are. But like it's a conversation to be had, right? I don't think anybody can sit there and say yes, this is the right one. So I don't know, but it may not be as simple as just gameplay. That's what we have to keep in mind. Store owner playing since Bright Lights. Chances are your expensive CC deck is just unplayable in LL because LL is centered around stuff that. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, I didn't think about it that way. So it creates another barrier because holy shit! I think you're onto something, Captain. Okay, one of the biggest friction points in Fab is the cost of cards. Everybody's known that, right? Tunic being $100, CNCs being $100. Like any competitive deck will run you $1,000 easy, right? I know the argument: if you buy the staples, the next one's only 400. Yeah, until you build an assassin deck, okay? And there's like a whole bunch of other examples, right? So I do understand that, right? And then Everbloom's $35, by the way. Just saying. Um, I didn't think about that. That the largest point of friction in the game, period. Not an argument to be made, period. Cost of entry is multiplied by 2 because you have to build a whole nother deck. Chances are, not always, but like chances are, right? And that's a fair point. So, what if it? What if LL is more acceptable at the highest level of play, but never at the calling? Because the calling, your friction as far as like if I have to build a third deck, I'm not really going to bitch about it, right? I have so many cards everywhere I look. It's just stacks of cards. Like I'm fortunate enough to be in that situation, being a competitive player. But at the same time, I'm understanding that some people just don't have that, or don't have any want of that. And so asking somebody to build a whole nother deck for a event that there's not going to be another one in 2 to 3 months, like I get it. I understand. Um, that's a really good point, and I think we might dig into that a little bit deeper later on. Played since right after Uprising, being able to go back and play the heroes you remember them is a breath of fresh air. But if I can't play certain cards, it's rough, i.e., Oldham. Yeah, I mean Oldham without Crown of Seeds is it's not Oldham, right? Like let's be honest, it just isn't. What's up, Michael? Good to see you. Been playing the game since 2021 and winning Pro Quest since or not Pro Tours. Sorry, not Pro Quest. Um, been playing since 2021. Think I dislike how LL is communicated as a format where anything goes. Then multiple things get banned and unbanned. Just a little stressed out about the volatility. Okay. And of course, the high levels of offensive overlap that still exist. Okay. So, Michael, are you basically saying, if you're still here, I know I'm behind in chat. I guess, are you saying that like the community the community overall is overreacting to certain card interactions and LSS is too quick to pull the trigger as far as trying to balance it because they know they're on like a short timeline? Um, that's kind of how I interpreted what you wrote. I mean, it's it's tough. Like it really is. And of course, offensive overlap. I agree. It is a little explosive, right? It is a little explosive, and um, yeah, I wonder. So, I guess the ultimate suggestion that you may or may not be trying to make is like the devs should just do their internal testing and just go for it, right? And like whatever happens, happens. Like trust the process. Because I do understand how you're like some people are, I think there's a disconnect between what LL was originally advertised as versus what it has become now. Okay, so the what I remember being sold, and this is, this is, I'm just going off of memory here. But when they first advertised it, when it came out, it was the format where everything goes, right? I remember it. Nothing's banned, right? No bans. Anything goes, right? And then they did the Aether Vein ban, and then they did a bunch of other bans, right? And it just ever since then, it's just been a more explosive CC format, right? So I guess that's fair. Yeah, I guess that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I've been playing since Monarch, and I was a big Oldhim player. Only bad piece to me is Starvo keeps me from playing Oldhim, how I remember him. But to be fair, just playing devil's advocate a little bit, that's just going to be the case where there's ever two like you're never going to have two heroes in a class in a format that are just like no matter what, you can't go wrong picking either one, right? We've seen it with New and the other assassins, right? Like if you're not picking New, you're trolling. Then Mario comes up because Mario's the better one, and if you're picking anything else, you're trolling. Then it was Skippy, and then they flipped again, and then like there's always going to be a best choice in a class. We have that in Classic Constructed. So why is that a problem when you go to LL? Honest question. Is it and I'm not implying anything, but is it like I'll admit that when I looked at the initial LL format, I kind of had a little entitled mindset a little bit where I was like, my hero's LL'd, and I'm owed the fact that this hero is like playable and good. Like I went in there telling myself that Briar is going to be like the bee's knees, right? That being wrong. Um, but I carried that mentality of like, she made it. She is part of the reason this format exists. So there's like this thing that you have to overcome, and maybe that applies to you, right? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just talking out my ass. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, that is something that I had to overcome, and it was kind of an obstacle that I had to get over. But once I was like, it's just a different format, and a lot of those same rules just apply. They just do. Been playing since Dynasty. I like LL since I can play stuff like OG Prism that I didn't get to play before. Okay, so you're a newer player that this is your chance to, you know, this is your chance to experience what you missed. I would have never gained that perspective because I've been here through all of it, right? Actually, I figured out after reflecting since the first message, I think Starvo was quite fun when he was originally released. So getting to play him at Barcelona was awesome. There you go. Easy. Easy. Been playing since Dynasty. I like LL since I already read that one. Haven't played LL, but from the outside looking in, it appears to be Yu-Gi-Oh style. I've given a lot of analogies like that. I agree. That's a very easy conclusion to make. Since Everfest, other than Starvo, everything is fun for me in LL. I love to play the old band cards, high octane, the new cards, interaction with old heroes. Briar, 100% agree. Played since Evo. The format is all heroes I've never touched, doing boring guaranteed uninteractive wins, except Ira who got banned. Okay, that's yeah, that's fair. Okay, I don't know if Ira was the best example of being interactive because it was like literally just a guaranteed loss across the board. But like that deck was busted. Okay, like there's no way to put it. You had to do something. Agree with Michael completely when it comes to offensive overlap. Do you want the format to be serious? You better start calling the card. Well, you can only play one of those cards, so they're already starting. I do like the idea. In all seriousness, I do like the idea of like hero centric bans, but it does get very convoluted. Like you can play this and this, you can not play this and this, and I get that. I get that. Oh shit! I lost my spot. What happened? We're gonna find it though. Oh my god, chat, you guys are killing it. Okay, we found it. Been playing since Heavy. Okay, so you like all of this is pretty new. Zen is LL, but that version of the deck is boring and soulless. Also, all the Degen BS of Oldham, Icelander, Bravo, Chain, etc. do not excite me. That's fair. But I still hate Starvo like I used to. Everybody does. And unless you play it. Personally, I've heard a lot about LL characters victimizing other heroes. It's made a lot of people quit slash hate the game. Why would I want to play in a format that has these characters just so I can hate? Well, Abby, that's exactly why you play LL. So you can become a hater yourself. That's the only way to get that power. That's it. Um, Plus, you've got to consider all the new cards they have access to now. I'd rather not grow to hate the game. I mean, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But at the same time, it is kind of just a different experience. It really is. You put out this whole article of what Flesh and Blood is, my 4 card, maybe 5 cards against yours. LL completely disregards that still and is distilling down to the best aggro deck versus the most control. That that is fair. You do lose this. So Flesh and Blood, I think, like you really get your money's worth, right? In those games where you're, going back and forth a lot and stuff like that. And like I'll give you an example. Like the idea of the armor wearing out and shit like that is like amazing. It's amazing design, it's amazing mechanics. In LL, it's just like everybody's just popping their shit and going. Like it's just I get what you're saying. It's a completely different vibe. Um I, I get what you're saying. I guess what is the justification of going for a different vibe? I think that's the question that needs to be answered. What is trying to be accomplished? Is it trying to appeal to players that like, the high octane shit, or is it like but that group's probably not gonna be your nostalgic group, so you have a conflict there. It's tough. It's tough. Um, I started playing at release of High Seas. I got my gold foil and Aurora LL deck to help me practice Gravy because we're still new to the game. We don't have much interest in battle hardens yet. Still fun. Good insight. I guess it's just power fantasy, like playing MTG with all the best cards ever released. Some will enjoy it, and that's where my experience really lacks. Is I don't know shit about MTG, so I don't know where to kind of does it work? I know like what do they call it, legacy or whatever, like the anything goes format. Is that really popular? Is that just something that like people with Black Lotuses play? Like, is that all it is, or is it like actually played? Is it obviously there's no probably competitive format because the accessibility is just not there. But um, I just don't know anything about it to be honest with you. Legacy format in a game that's already a legacy format is a joke. Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you to explain that one. So you're basically saying that the power level is already too high and they made it even higher, right? Or the lack of interaction. That's interesting. Okay. Because I wouldn't say that, but I'm more than happy to hear you out. Chase, RKO Master. It all comes, it just comes down to non hero specific ban. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. I think it's a good idea. A lot of friction with just, you know, trying to keep up with all that shit. It's a lot. It's a lot. Arya first. Played Oldham for a while. I'm just sad I'll never be able to play him again with Starvo around. Frustrated the entire format is warped around him. And here's the bad news is unfortunately it's probably never going to change. That's the reality of it. Holy shit, chat. We have the answer. I've solved the Living Legend format. We fixed it. It solves everything that we have talked about. It solves everything except maybe the cost of entry, but it could even fix that. Here it is. If you do LL seasons, okay, hear me out. Hear me out, Chad. I'm cooking. You do LL seasons, right? Where you can take like one or two of each class, and then those heroes are playable in that season. Okay? That gives your Oldhim you so one season, Starvo's playable, the Oldhim players are pissed. Then you take them out for the next season, and now all the Oldhim players get to play. They get to enjoy their hero. You know, you can make it as big or small, or you could do all types of things, and then you can also having that agency of molding the format, you can create instances of higher power, lower power, right? Like, okay, you want to like do a juiced LL season. You put in Chain, Starvo, Viscera, you know, all the top decks, right? You just throw them in there, right? And then that's like everybody's high power season. And then you do like a low power season or a medium power season, or something, a really underwhelming season where just it's like, and when I say underwhelming, I mean just like underpowered, right? Where it's just like the less utilized heroes just get a chance to leverage the banned cards. And I'm just saying, I'm just like, hear me out. Hear me out. The answer has to be seasons. If you think about it, like that's literally what we'll use a game like League of Legends, okay? It's theoretically the same thing. Every hero is playable in every season, but instead of removing the champions, whatever the fuck they call them, they do balance adjustments, which effectively in the meta is the same thing as removing the hero, right? Like this hero is the most dominant thing ever, and then they just nerf him to the ground, and he's basically thrown out, right? Like you might have a couple people playing, but like all in all, he's gone, right? And so it's literally that formula. You just in card games, you have to like get him the fuck out, right? Because that's the only way that you solve your problem. Like Oldhim will just never be as good as Starvo. It'll never happen. You would have to restrict the card pool so much and you don't want to like hero specific ban to oblivion, right? Because you would have, even if Oldhim had Crown of Seeds, he wouldn't beat Starvo without Crown of Seeds. You'd still play Starvo, right? Like, I don't know. Just an idea. Just an idea. So you want it to be like League of Legends patch notes. Nerf hero, buff hero. Yeah. Like, but instead of nerfs, you just literally take them out. And then like, but then you have, I don't know. If you do that, you alienate the players that play those. So if you have like Starvo players and you take them out for the season, then you're like alienating them. But that's no different than the Oldhim players while Starvo is playable. So like, fuck it, let them get a turn. I don't care. Oh man. Okay, just an idea. We'll move on. I'm already like way behind in chat. I miss Azalea. You're gonna have to keep on missing it. I think LSS is a fine, or LSS. I think LL is a fine format, but having it forced on you isn't great. That's fair, but at the same time, I think LSS needed to just make a shot at it. Like, just say this is a priority, and you know, I I respect what they did with Worlds. I actually suggested that they needed to pull the trigger. I was thinking Pro Tour, not Worlds, but hey, they just sent it, okay? And I have a lot of respect for that because sometimes you need to like not play around. You need to like go all in, get the answer you need. Like at the end of all this season, when Worlds is concluded, maybe they get the data of like, okay, LL's not it, but like now we know because we have Battle Harden after calling after Worlds. Like we have an enormous amount of data that right now the community does not want this format. And then instead of wasting a calling every 4 months on it, trying to accumulate that data, we just figured it out really quickly. I don't think it's a bad idea. Um, that's my thought process on it. Starvo ruined it not because of how he is in the format, but because of what he has done to the BNR. That is a fair statement. That is fair. Starvo is a gatekeeper by means of bans alone. Yep, I agree with that. I agree with that. People aren't scared enough of change. Change pretty good. Pretty good. Return format. Say that to new and Icelander. That's a good point. Good point. How much effort has LSS put into CC? How much have they put into LL? It doesn't seem like they take it seriously. We are kind of spoiled by CC. That's a fair point. They had an ample opportunity to prepare for this. They had like a lot of time. They made the decision, and we said when they put it in Worlds, we were like, you have to get the balance right. If you fuck up the balance, that's it. You're done. Like I mean, it's literally that simple. LO has a fundamental issue that all of the most powerful heroes will accumulate over time. It'll get less. It can't get less sacky. That's a fair point. But what's the point of an open format with a giant ban list? Yeah, because then you're just playing CC with a different flavor. Briar is actually a good deck that could generate good value. It's just value. It's just less value than other heroes. That's my opinion. If they wanted to create a format for all the living legend cards that differ from the other heroes, make LL singleton. I don't know what that means. If you play warrior, LL is off limits. Yeah, guys, check on Josh during Worlds because he is struggling right now. He knows that he can't play Worlds, or he knows that he can't play warrior at Worlds for the LL portion. Like he's just figured that out. So, um, like he needs some help. He needs some help. He's struggling right now. In regards to LLCC, he's fine. Uh, maybe 12 cards before you're dead. Oh goodness. Do you think more people played Blitz or LLCC? Mm, that's Blitz and LL numbers are probably pretty comparable if I had to guess. I think Silver Age will do really well, by the way. I think there is also something to be said about the general unwillingness to take a full measure to deal with the disproportionate power scaling between the best heroes and the other. That's fair. That's a fair statement. Can't disagree with it. So we need LL, CC, and Death Legend format. Yeah, more formats is always the answer. Um, I mean that's what Magic did. I've been playing since Monarch, and I have nostalgia with all the good LL heroes, so it's an appealing format for me for that. Also, Vis is my favorite hero, so that's also a boon. I agree. I agree. Captain has a point. Want me to buy another Riches? LOL. No. Play side events or something. Fair. Um, LL should be Silver Age, and it would be better. That's LL should. Okay, so you're saying allow one legendary, one playset of majestic. Yeah, but then you're not playing LL, right? I don't. I don't know about that one. I think they said that that's how they wanted it to start, but they would trim it over time. That's probably just didn't say that in enough channels. That's probably fair. Needle restriction will be so interesting for. Oh yeah, I do agree. One needles would be interesting. LO is only fun because older players like myself miss chain and the format is trash. Oh, that's kind of based. Actually, I figured. Oh yeah, we already read that one. You just described the issue. The difference between LL and CC is the top hero of the class never changes in LL. Yep. If you want people to play LL, you can't say pick one of these four heroes. Nothing else is good. Have fun. People like their class. That's a good point. Maybe LL challenges hero identity because like the gap between fringe playable and meta is like massive in LL, right? So like you're basically telling people to buy a new deck and abandon their hero identity. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Living Legend format is an extension of Classic Constructor where all adult heroes and signature weapons are legal and kicking off with an empty ban list. So you can, yeah, we've had quite a few bans. And the one that hurt me was Crown of Seeds. That one got everybody in the fields, to be honest. As an admittedly newerish player, since late heavy hitters, who doesn't have the nostalgia for the older hero? I haven't enjoyed playing. Okay. You haven't been enjoying it. That's fair. There's something that's been missing since Icelander and Oldham left in CC. I love tempo decks. I agree with that. I miss Ice as well. Like good Ice, not Jarl. Hear me out. What if the community just doesn't want to? No reason, just doesn't want to. I mean, as much as I would love to say it's just up to vibes, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason. LL should have stayed casual, in my opinion, and that's valid. That's valid. Now I can't play Needles anywhere because LSS has to balance the format. Now Blitz is gone. Jeez, yep. Can't make me. I ain't doing it. I've been collecting and making decks since Tails. Didn't have anyone to play with for years until I found locals about a year ago. I always look forward to playing the LL decks in LL as a casual format. I think showcasing the format and bringing attention to LL is fine, but making a mainstay competitive format shouldn't be the ultimate goal. That's fair. That's the third time it's been brought up. Most of my locals consider Battle Harden's Eve bad EV, and they filled two of them before they filled the calling. Yeah, that's um, yeah. The Battle Hardens are bad EV unless your name is Brody or Michael. Then it's really good EV. Okay, and that's just the law of Battle Hardens. Only people playing Legacy and Vintage are those who already have the cards. It's like the veterans meetup. That's hilarious. Like the old people meeting up at Hardy's every morning. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They're gonna push LL. Will they make more LL Armory decks that aren't on exclusive? I have no clue. No clue. Would it be too hard to bring everything back to CC power level and just have every deck legal? Yeah, I mean, you would have to ban a lot of shit. Uh, a lot of shit, right? Like, oh my god, you'd have to copy the CC ban list and you just carry it over, right? Because if something's busted in CC, it'd be busted in LL. But then you have to maybe that's not a problem. But if we're doing that, why not just not LL heroes, right? Like why does that need to be split in what are you accomplishing? These heroes are ascending to LL just to force us to play a separate format. Like I feel like if we do that, we just need to give up on the idea of LL. I think that's my opinion. Like just let it go. If we reach that point. There are some proxy friendly tournaments, but they ain't big. Um, I have read that Starvo is a gatekeeper, and I do find it entertaining. Remind me of when people said Enigma was a gatekeeper while Viscerai was legal in CC with her. That's a great. That is a great example. That's a great example. Seasons definitely could be cool. Is this just gonna relay a complicated variant of set rotations just for Ella? I mean, I guess. I guess ultimately, yeah. I think Starvo is gatekeeping in a sense that the BNR has to cater to that's the good point. I was kind of interpreting that wrong as like I don't think the power level's busted, but the power level's not busted because they had to destroy 11 other decks. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. If it's just a balanced constructed format for nostalgia player, why is it in worlds and not just kitchen table. Good point. What if LL was just CC except for heroes? Yep. Yep. So you want to be like League of Legends. Hell yeah. Okay. And then Curtis in here just trying to play Max, just trying to be happy and play Max. I get it, but LL might not be for you. It might not be for you. Okay, Raisin vibes are off. That's fair. All right, here we go. We talked a lot about LL. Let's go ahead. We got time. We're gonna do some good old RKO games. Okay, because it's been a while since we've done games gameplay. I feel like it's been a minute. Let's go ahead and move that over, get it done, and we'll play some RKO games. Just hang out, chill for a little bit. If anybody has anything that they want to discuss, more than happy to hear it. Okay, we want to just put in cards that block well, is the name of the game. I do like taking out some 2 blocks. And then we don't want to go wide, but we do want the ability to disrupt. So I'm going to do a 1-for-1 there. We actually want these instead. Is there any other 2 blocks? Not really. Go there. Wow, if we were going second, boy, I tell you what. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pass. This is when what is happening? Okay, they running 66 cards. Okay, that's fair. We're gonna blow up some items. It is something that's going to happen, so we're gonna arsenal that. Holy shit. If he has a boom grenade, we're actually fucked. He's out of retirement? Oh my god. Wait, there's gameplay for this channel? Oh, the shade. The shade. Oh man. That's messed up. That's messed up, chat. We are witnessing the end of cardboard commentary on Wednesday, guys. Look now. It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Okay. I think he's going to attack. I want to get all this shit out of my hand to be I just want to get all of it out of here. But I'm gonna take the L here if he has the boom grenade on top. If he has it, like, cool. Okay. We gonna get that life. Please shoot gun or something. Please. Do it for me. Attack me one more time, please. 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 Oh, hitting it. Okay. Attack me one more time. We'll take it. We will take it. And get that out of the way. We got all the value out on defense. Gain some good old life. So the plan for this matchup, okay, is to not die. We're not playing RKO gameplay. We're not trying to maneuver life totals. We're not trying to do any of that shit. Okay. We just don't want to die. Okay. All we're trying to do. Doesn't have to be any more difficult, any more simple. Just don't die. I'm not gonna max V me on turn 1. Calm down, chat. Okay. That was a lot of value. The value. I hear a bit late. Good to see you. Good to see you, Andy. I missed the I Love Room Blade segment. Look, Look, I only mentioned that for like 2 to 3 minutes tops, but you're not wrong. Okay, that was on his turn. Oh man, if we hold a blue on our next turn, we gon' oh man, we gonna get him. Blow all that shit up. So we got a lot of items. I know we save flesh bag. Hear me out. What's more valuable? Delaying a max fee, because you're never stopping it. You're just delaying it. Like, let's not lie to ourselves. I think flesh bagging to create space to play the ARG Smash while they have a processor and play in the Tekla core is kind of based. Okay. But I am going to wait for a little bit more information. We're going to block with a card. Okay. We're in danger. All right. I'm going to let you off with a little warning. Little warning. Shout out to Peanut. We're just going to jam it here. And then we're going to flesh bag on the next card to try and stop it. This could be a bad play. I don't recommend this at home. But just throwing it out there. Definitely could have just like not blocked. Okay, Spark. Holy shit. Please don't crank it. He did crank it. Okay. Oh, this is a good play because now we can't flesh bag. Okay. Okay, that was good. Congratulations. Good play. Is there any world we jam the whole suite? No, because he's gonna get it anyway, but he can't max fee this turn. Okay. So I'm gonna keep the blue. I think the Arc Smash is worth it. One, we need to be able to put D-Rax in Arsenal. That's the first thing. You Oasis the boom grenade. Oh, can you? Oh my god. Destroy this and deal 4 damage. Oh my god. I never thought about that. You're probably right. All right. We rolling 4s. We rolling oh my god. We're blowing both of them up. Get him. Get him. Best arc smash on the planet. We rolling 6s. Please don't roll. I gotta get a 4 here. We gotta blow up both the processors or we're fucked. Get him. Give me a 4. Oh, we got him. Let's go. Oh. Got the brains now. Got him. Oh my god, that's such a brute thing to do. It's actually kind of fucked. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be pissed. See, that's like that is huge. Okay, that is like absolutely massive. Oh man, actually mean. Okay, so we played one off the top. Out front though, why would you play it? I wouldn't just give the information, right? Kind of sus. I'm actually gonna discard shelter here. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. And we got a little prevention floating. Look at that. Breakpoints don't matter because we're gaming. Okay. Bro, shelter is worth the money. I hate that it's $100. Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. Okay, But hear me out. Card is busted. Okay, breakpoints. Who cares? Who? Not me. I think we're about to get max feed. Breaking the chain. By activating heart or playing spark. Another boom grenade. If you crank this, I'm flesh bagging. Okay, he didn't. He's giving up. Giving up. Okay. No extra action point. We eat this and send the CNC because what, chat? We're gamers. We completely planned this from the beginning that we were just going to take one damage to throw a CNC. That was literally like scripted before we played any card out. It was complete accident. Okay. But we did block with the swing big because we knew it was not a good card. Okay. Look at that. We live another day. Live another day. Now what do we do? We have leaked a lot. Okay. We need to another boom grenade and cranked. Okay. I think we deploy the secret weapon. Okay. So could he even okay, it's impossible to max fee here. But this is a lot of fucking breakpoints, okay? We can't like sugarcoat that. And there's like double boom grenade there. We only have one Oasis left in the deck. That's the only thing we really need Tunic counter for. We're not going to like Tunic Pummel or anything like that. So giving up Tunic's like not a huge deal. 2 resources floating. He could go throttle into. Technically, he can go throttle into Zipper is the biggest. And then we could go Tunic here. Throttle would be double block. And then Zipper would be here in arms. So we're fine there. I like giving up Tunic, believe it or not. It makes that Oasis a little sketchy. I'm gonna give him a warning. I'm gonna let him off with a warning. Shout out to Peanut. Nathan, you are so smart and cool. Thank you, Gavin. I'm just trying to be a little bit more like you. James White already said there's a reprint of Shelter coming. Yes, but is it here? Is the question. Briar is disgusted watching you play this. I mean, I'm just look. This is the beefy Briar deck that I built. Okay. This is it. Same thing. Okay. We are going to use the armor here. That's cool. I was going to block anyway. So like you can tell me which one you blocking with and I was going to do it anyway. Shoot me with the gun. You got no items. I'm at 29 after the gunshot. Ugh. Oh, he has 2 action points. Taking 2 hits. Damn. Okay. Now we need him to brick hard on multiple max fees. He's been through half his deck and he hasn't seen one, right? No max fees. Okay. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Max fee. That would have been a shitter hand. Oh my God. That would have been so bad. So we had Oasis sink. Okay. So we were good defensively. This would have been a little awkward, but we would have just sunk it away. and put it to the bottom of the deck and never saw it again. So that problem solved itself. Block it with the tunic. Here, no boom grenades. This hand doesn't matter. We just block 1 for 1 across the board, and easy day. And then he probably puts one of the 0 cost in arsenal. Boost through. He draws this hand, which is shit with max V. So that's going to be a little awkward. And then so he doesn't even get the opportunity to maybe max V. He had some clunkers coming up. Absolute clunkers. Okay. So when in doubt, Mark smash out. Okay. That's what we're saying. Valda, living legend. I just want to watch. Okay. Valda, living legend. Okay. Okay. Somebody make a lobby. Oh my god, I gotta make one and then I'm gonna get sniped. I know how this happens. I know how it happens. Lavia? I don't know this matchup. I know you can't fatigue her. I'm not even gonna try to do that. Do need to get above life though. That's gonna be very important. So we're gonna do that. We do need to be cheeky with these cards. That's gonna be kind of important. These not so much. Probably not gonna make that much impact. We are gonna be making a lot of trades. We do want to have the ability to like turtle up, be a little defensive, but we want to be able to push at the same time. So I'm gonna value the E strikes over. Actually, we might just need the aggression. Might not have the luxury of fucking around and finding out. Do 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 do. Okay. Let's roll with 61. Let's just run it. EZ. Oh my goodness. A beautiful matchup between two of the best heroes in the game. I don't know. Valda. Oh, it's our turn. We go first. We do not let her fill the graveyard, so we are going to just up pass. And we are going to Arsenal CNC because the most relevant. Help me. What do I even do? Flesh bag, husk. Give it that early. Has to get the graveyard built up. What if I do this and just pass back? What is Levi going to do back to me with 1 card engraved? Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to fatigue. Oh my god. Give me a blue card. Hell, I'll take a yellow card. Holy shit. Turns out, chat, mathematically, if you hold a red card in your hand, it does increase the odds of once again drawing an all red hand. I don't know if everybody knew that, but that does happen to be the case. Oh, at least we have tunic counter though, because we are gaming. Okay. I can handle this. And we can also 1 card mocking blow because I ain't scared. So let's do. Ooh, I like keeping the CNC though. So let's do here and then pass. Block with sync. And then we're going to sync the mocking blow in effort to just draw blue. Because we want to arsenal the CNC and we want to save our tunic counter for pummel. We get the blue because we are gamers. Okay. mocking for 10 with what? And I do like the disruption idea here. And so what the environment that I wanted to produce, okay? Because secrets out. A lot of players play pummel in this list. What I wanted to do is create a CNC from Arsenal situation where a flashbang prevents a pummel, especially sitting on tunic counter, to kind of effectively try to bait this out. Which I'm fine if he does. I'm fine if he doesn't. This is more of a like checking the pulse of the player kind of situation. Um, but mocking for 10, brother. Why would we do that when we can CNC? Getting flashbacks to my PQ games last week. Okay, we did not bait it out, but that's fine. We're doing the thing. They're being patient. It's good on them. Wow, what a game. 3. They banished 3 so they can play this one. Okay, right? That's how that thing works. Pretty good. Cool. For a good old 7. I think with this hand kind of sucks, so I think it's actually just keep life total high and don't make it easy for him on the swing big. Got to pitch the card in hand if you're willing to give it up. Okay, this is fine. So we can actually turn up the heat a little bit here if we want to give some armor. I don't hate it. The quicken token that just produces another flesh bag situation. So probably not. Just gonna go here, D-react. Doo-doo-doo. This flesh bag stops 7 damage. So yes, but we didn't know what this is. If I would have known that it was this shit of a card that's not going in Arsenal, then yes, I would have probably done it. But if this is like a really good card and they weren't intending on doing that, then like, you know, still over, which is good. They have 5 engrave, all of which are hits. That's good for them. We have the ability to get a little bit aggressive if we need to. Okay. So I'm gonna flip the script on the game from this point, because they're just throwing 6. I think what we do, we have not blocked with a mocking blow. Unfortunately, that changes absolutely everything. Actually, or does it? Does it just? Huh. I wanted to go looking for scrap into villainous pose CNC. That was my thought process, but we don't have a 1 to give this go again, which is a problem. We can't just arsenal it. We can take the 6. We can play not the most efficient line, but I mean he's 2 card sixing. Like who gives a fuck? Um, We can roll scabs. I don't hate it. We could fit a claw in with villainous pose. Ooh. Oh, he is cracking hooves, so I need the action point. Okay, so we'll see what he throws, and then we'll go from there. Swing big. Okay. Um, we can turn this into a 3 block. That's no problem. These are twos is the problem. We want to speed the game up. We want to play into that scenario. Graveyard on 6, all but one hit. Healthy situation for Levia. Man, CNC is a lot worse. I think we block here and just go villainous pose into 3 card 8. It sucks, but we do get the vigor token. Not the best play. Yeah, I wanted to CNC for 10. That was the game plan until they moved their arsenal by cracking boots. Now that you've explored LL, isn't going first, second a pretty big deal? Yeah, it really depends on the matchup, to be honest. That's ultimately what it's going to depend on. But yes, I do agree with that. What do you want to see next for Fab? Silver Age, Project Blue is the big win for me. I think it's going to do really well. I think Silver Age will be a home run because it's alternate format that solves the issue of both. Holy shit. How many bellows do you have to have in your hand to warrant blocking with a Blood Rush Bellow against a shitty turn? That is the real question. Okay, there's still one hit in there. And this is just 9, right? Okay. We are going to try and save life totals a little bit. Because they blocked with Bellow, we are going to throw it, of course. In fact, we actually block here because we make it an awkward 7. That's the play. Make it 7. Awkward break point, put pressure on what we think is obviously a Blood Rush Bellow, more than likely. If they're blocking with them, awkward break point, we set up defensively for the next turn. I was thinking more of getting the break point. Because getting the gauntlets or the flesh bag here is decent. But from a value perspective, 100% agree with you, Damien. Like tunicking in the CNC, 100%. I get it. But I think there's a lot of value here if we can get the flesh bag or the other pieces of armor based on the break point. Blood Debt has started, so maybe we just take a defensive posture. But if he gives Husk and gloves, like we're okay with that. Like the amount of value that we're going to save over the game. The second he gives husk, like, I think we just go more defensively, right? If we do that, you're telling me we're not gonna save 2 value over the next 6 turns? He wouldn't activate these gloves? I'd make the argument he would. But from a, like, value that turn perspective, I agree, 100%. What is the normal get for this? Oh, Beast Within, that makes sense. That checks out. 7 is never real. He wants his hand. Well, yeah. I know it's not gonna pressure the hand, but it advances the game state into which I can actually have somewhat an amount of agency over. Doo-doo-doo. We want to get rid of claw. That's what Leviathan does really well. We're gonna block down. We can put an arsenal. We have tunic counter. We can make a play afterwards. I don't hate it. We are down a lot of 2 power attacks. We get a show of strength or something, I guess. I'm actually okay with it staying around. We can just place it in the arsenal conveniently, which avoids the flashback. Since we know we're blocking a lot next couple turns. How many misses are left? We have 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's get good. I know NIMBY's worth 6 here, but I don't know if I don't think we operate on that. I mean, there's no way we take. Well, yeah, we have to make this play because we committed to having the pommel, which we need the tunic counter for to actually execute cleanly. So I know we're giving up 2 value in the exchange for 6. I'm very aware of that. We just tunic counter out the nimblism. I get that, but at the, I think we just have to take a defensive posture in this situation against Leviathan. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've played this matchup, so I'm a little rusty. I'll admit, but I do know that we gave up a lot of value there, 100%. We're gonna draw the hand, block with everything but pommel, arsenal it, try to make a play. That is our game plan. What a time to draw Steel Victory. So in this situation, what's the benefit of losing the value long term if we aren't going to fatigue trying to learn? No. So in Leviathan historically, I'm not saying this is the case anymore because the list is probably a lot more refined now with the newer cards, but like you can present these game states where they just miss on a graveyard pool and they, like, right now, if he doesn't turn off his hero ability, we just get 5 value out of anywhere. So you can create these situations. It is a little bit more on the rare side, I'll admit. But like, you know, that's historically what I've done, and it's worked really well. But it could be a more old-fashioned way of playing the matchup. Ethan's probably sitting in the corner like, "Oh, I wish you do that against me. I'd show you." That's hilarious. Godspeed, Nathan. This should be a free matchup. Yeah, I knew. I literally just said it. I literally just said it. Ethan's probably just sitting there, just correcting everything. Oh, I love it. That's hilarious. Yeah. So I remember the last game that you actually. It was the Realm event. I did that against what was it, Mo Bosley, and I think you watched the conclusion of that game actually, and that's what I did during that game. Not saying it's the optimal strategy, but it is what I did. Oh God, we're gonna die. Um, so that's the last bellow. Does he have another resource? That is the question. Actually, that is actually troll. We should flashback here. There's like no better time to flashback than here. Let's go and try and get that other blue. Let's get that blue out of the way. Get a little bit of breathing room. Okay. But to Ethan's point, right? Like my strategy against Ethan would be like legit just suicide, right? Like there's no way it would work against somebody that like has a bajillion reps. I would just get ran over. Um, but what I'm banking on is the fact that I'm not playing it to Ethan. That's what we're betting on. That's what we're putting all the chips on. That seemed like an okay flesh bag. I don't know if it was or was not. You could wait and see if you can snipe a resource card out of his hand after. Yeah, I wanted to do it on the first one because he's going to pitch the resource card into the second one. That means he would secure. So the only time to get the resource card would be after the first claw, um, while he's on 0 resources. How'd you juice him so hard? I should never doubt you. No, you probably should. Bro, he keeps playing these and I draw still victory. It's actually disgusting. Um, he's gonna be upset. But it's the price of doing business. You know what I'm saying? It just be like that. The question is, what the fuck do I do with the rest of my hand? 'Cause I don't have anything I can play. Like, really. I can't even like I can boo into Mocking Blow, but then I have go again because I'm gonna steal his shit. But then like it doesn't do anything because I don't have a card afterwards. Um, so I think actually what we're gonna do is like this, steal his shit. Yoink. This is Arsenal. Fuck. We are in danger. Thank God I stole that agility. Oh my God. That could have been really bad. That could have been really bad. Okay, priority number 1. We have to kill this shit. It is not allowed. Not allowed. Okay. Still, the pummel idea has been an utter disaster. Did he hit 3 on it? Great. That's exactly what we wanted. That is exactly what we want. There's nothing to steal yet. That's the problem. So we're gonna go here and here. Uh, yeah, I was like, oh, we got tunic counter up, and we'll just arsenal pummel, and then like we'll draw something to work with it. And it's been 3 hands and no pummelable card other than a blue flex strength, which is not exactly what I had in mind. I was hoping for at minimum like a show of strength or a swing big or something like that, but no. No. Tear limb from limb. Pretty good card, not gonna lie. I was hating on this card in KO, but then, brother, these hits. Oh, it doesn't have go again. I guess he doesn't fucking need go again when it's coming in for a bajillion. Uh, we actually have to take this 6 and kill this shit. To be honest, it's kind of cringe actually, because then we're gonna draw the thing to pummel and we're not gonna be able to. That's the problem. This matchup seems terrible, or I'm terrible. One of the two of those statements are accurate, or both. Question is making this kill this worth 6? But then I'm at 12, and then like I'm going to die. It's just gonna happen. But we can't leave it there. We cannot do it. Mocking blow there. Now we're gonna draw the CNC because that's how it always happens. Oh my god, what if they play that blue? That fucking does -1? Oh god, that'd be cringe. This Levi is on the day 0 YouTube list. Don't think I made an RKO sideboard button. Okay, that's the only thing I have going for me. We did not get still victory this time. Okay. But we did get the pummelable target, and now we're not set up for it. So, okay. Miss going in the grave. That's fine. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. This is starting to look okay for us. It's really not. We're gonna like die next turn. But we still got a little bit of armor. We need to use these. On tunic counter. We're gonna block this hand out. We're gonna tunic up to 3 on the turn after, and then we're gonna draw CNC. Everything will be fine. Okay, this is kind of good. 3 hits. That graveyard should be fucked right now. There's 1 hit in there. Okay. We have identified the win con. He needs to like trip up here. It needs to happen. He'll take Blood Dead eventually. I mean, it'll come in for 12, you know? Take that more. He plays some more shit. Another Dread Screamer. And he hit the one that was in there. Ethan's probably like, oh man, he should have broke the chain to like guarantee it or up the odds. I can just picture like Ethan just roasting both sides of this matchup. It's actually hilarious. We're gonna block here. So he can have the 1 cost shit in Arsenal. It would suck. And he doesn't even have one, so it's 100% that growling thing. I don't know what it's fucking called. Graveling, growl, some shit like that. We're about to get blasted for 6 or 7 here. About to get absolutely blasted. Please don't do it. Yep. I seens it. Jason, I'm starting to live up to the stereotype because when I saw Jason at the PQ, he was like, "You ain't gonna fatigue me, are you?" And I'm like, "I would never." And here I am, bro. Just caught red-handed, bro. Just trying to fatigue people. Uh, Levy is literally unfatiguable. I do agree with that. Yeah. Rolling in his grave watching this match, probably. Yeah. Oh god. You need to learn the long fatigue matchup better because this situation they're in happened to me at least 3 times. Yeah. Well, this is not a good situation for either player. Like, this is just like, if you want to know what not to do, write this down. Oh my goodness. Terrible. So he has a lot of, well, no, he just refilled it with the screamers. Okay. So there is a world where he can miss. Okay. Add another miss in there. Okay. Oh, fuck. We're almost out of cards. Not calculated. Well, we're committing now. We have committed. Should have ran more cards. Okay. And if she turned into redeem, minus 25 value. Hell. All those NIMBYs were actually played, and she just goes to 8 life. Calculated, bro. Life totals are even. I can't watch fruit games. I bet. Oh man. Oh, we got 3 card 13. Tough Nut would never lose this matchup. See, those are the hard hitting facts that we need. But what what I'm going to guarantee is after this match, we're not playing another one like this. I can't, I don't have it in me. Okay. Oh man. Did Tally die? Because this shit is spinning. Uh oh. We may never see the end of this horrendous game. We may never see its conclusion. Oh no. It's literally spinning. Okay, we're back. Taushar was like, no, we're not having this. Stop. Literally. That's actually hilarious. Just give me a CNC. Let me make a play. Okay, here. This is the moment we've been waiting for, and it's probably going to do absolutely nothing. Because we're going to have to block with our shit anyway. But hear me out. The mod shut it down out of mercy. Oh, this ain't that bad. Oh no, it has go again. Oh, this is really bad. This is really bad. Oh, this is too good. Yeah, this ain't good. This ain't good, Chief. What is happening? Halshar, what are you doing? Man, Nathan is the sickest. I don't know about that. We're not dropping frames. I think this is all Talshar, right? Is anybody else playing Talshar and it being buggy as hell? We ain't dropping no frames. No nothing. Talshar just ain't doing it. Talshar is giving you the out. Oh, we gotta see the line though. We gotta see the line. Yeah, this shit is dying. Real time. It won't let me do anything. To be honest, I wanted to block with arms here to go CNC for a bajillion, but you know, here we are. Well, this time for real, the Talon Shark devs stepped in. And they basically said that this has to everyone trying to play LL. Shaking my head, yeah. But what if you saw this matchup in LL? That sucks. I wanted to at least give him the chance to win. He earned it. Okay, we're back. We're back. I don't know what the fuck's happening. Okay. We want to do it this way because we want that the juice, the might. Come on now. Oh man. Not again. Brother. Oh, it was just waiting on me. Oh, my bad. LL match RKO versus CYB Goliath. Hard pass. Hard pass. Okay. We have to cash this in for a 3 block. We don't want to die. And he has no arsenal. So this CNC move is way less impressive. God, no, make it stop. Chat, tell me how you really feel. Okay. We're about to pull off the best CNC pummel ever with them having no arsenal. It's like we drew it up from the beginning. God. I swear if I had a spare missile. Oh my God. Theo's hilarious. Maybe that claw has go again. Oh. Oh, here's the juice to even up the score. We're gonna help him fill his graveyard. This is such a bad play. Oh, it just diminishes everything that we've done. Oh, it's terrible. But there's still 3 misses. Yeah, but we just gave him the opportunity to put one in there that's not. This is the worst gameplay ever. Oh, but it's actually hilarious. Okay, what do we got? Close it out. I believe in you. Yep. Big attack, sure. Oh shit, with the dominates? I'm gonna do chat a favor. Let's see. I'm gonna apologize for that one, chat. Okay, no Leviathan. I can't do it. Oh, yep. How's it going, man? Professional tip, do not watch the last 32 minutes of the stream. Oh, if they flip in the blasphemy, they mill their whole deck. Yeah, but they can just kill literally from like, I mean, if this is fucking Damien, I'm dipping. I swear to God. Yep, it's Damien. I'm out. Nice try. I give fuck. Damien. So Damien has a part-time job, and it's literally just stream sniping people streaming and playing the cringiest shit with like Yellow Withstand, which is what he was trying to do there. I'm not having it, okay? Oh man, that's actually hilarious. Oh, we're not doing this one either. Bro, RKO is such dog shit, dude. We just run at the side of gravy, bro. Oh, this is actually good. Oh god, that's funny. Oh, okay. Let's look for a like a normalish game. Normalish game. Just fatigue gravy. Um, you can fatigue bad gravies. Yes, that is true. That is a viable option. Let's try to get one of these. God, come on now. Don't do it to me. There's no way they're all gravy. Okay, here's a KO. Okay, that's a normal game. We're gonna get absolutely juiced, but RKO eats gravy? What you mean? What? Oh god. All right, Ethan. I think that's cope. I think that is a good gravy. There's no way. There's no shot, right? Okay. We need to go here, here. They have way too much deck damage. We can't like actually like think about fatiguing them or anything like that. It's not that type of game. But we do need a couple extra cards unless we get on the back foot and we just need a little bit more space. I don't mind fiddlers either to just get above. We'll run that. He said he's going first. That's fine. Atrocious starting. We'll make it work. Just for the calories. Hummel is just too clunky in RKO. I disagree. In this situation, I think we block with Mocking Blow to turn that on. That's kind of hot. If we draw blue, this is like amazing. If you cast Bones after, nobody should be on cast. That's so. How what are you doing? Killing me. Says the man who had Pummel stuck in his arsenal against Leviathan for 30 minutes. Brother, that was the plan. Okay. It doesn't mean it was a good one, but the Pummel was there. I literally worked that shit into arsenal. Okay? You have the agency to beat good gravies, though. Arc smashes. Yeah, you can get rid of their gold kiss and their gold. Yeah. But like having a couple ways, if that's enough to beat gravy, then that would be like dual building warrior would be like the freest match ever against gravy, right? And that historically is not done really well. So I don't think the ability to blow up gold and rum just completely flips that, right? I don't think the ability to double clear is the answer. The reason why Syndra does so well is she has the ability to double clear and put on pressure, which is where RKO lacks. In my opinion, more than willing to admit that I'm possibly wrong, but I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know about that. Talishar is bugging. Historically, we were talking about new gravy, yes, but have we given the gravy players time to adapt? Are we ready for plays like, you know, scubaing back 13 prismatic ley lines and being able to fatigue through that? Is that something that we've tested with RKO? I would make the argument probably not, right? Like if you just freeze time after the ban, sure, I would concede the fact that that's probably correct. Uh, oh no. Please tell me it didn't crash. Anybody else having problems with Tower Shore? But the point that I was trying to make was if you have a snapshot in time right after the ban, probably right. But if you give Gravies the time to like actually come up with a plan to the deck, I don't know. I think if the Gravy loses this matchup, it's because they want to lose it, or they like disprioritized any type of like situational fatigue. We might have to call it. Talishar is like literally broken. Is it just a lot of people playing right now? It's not my internet. Packets are fine. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know. Don't know. Help me. All right, I'm gonna give it a couple more tries, but banished to great. Okay, we're back. And we didn't draw blue. This is phenomenal. But we did draw the best card. Ooh, and they stuck around. Look at that. Look at that. They're being patient. We're back. We're doing it live. Any heroes you want to try out in Silver Age? No, until I figure out what the rules are and shit like that. I didn't. This is my fault. I didn't do anything in regards to the Project Blue when it came out. And so I don't really know, I get that you can use rares and there's probably a limit on Majestics or something like that. But I'm just waiting for the official rules to come out. And then that way, kind of how it functions before I really dive in. But of course I'm gonna try on my favorites, my Rune Blades and stuff like that. That's probably where I'll land first. And then just kind of go from there. Please don't do it again. Why? That is terrible. Really? Is there just a bajillion people in Townshire right now? Once I get the rules, I'll be like, yeah, I'll play it once the rules come out. It'll probably be as soon as they drop the rules, it'll be my next stream more than likely. But I don't know. Well, chat, Townshire is literally not letting me play the game. And for the small amount of time that it did allow me to play the game, we probably as a collective group wish it didn't. So wouldn't be lagging if you were playing Tough Nut. See, I'm glad somebody understands. I'm glad somebody. This is bad. I've never seen Talishar do this, ever. Low key, I think Yellow Bellow Tough Nut will be OP. Yellow Bellow. So the last Yellow Bellow was a term from our WTR Limited where you ran was it Primeval Bellow or whatever that card was, and then it curves good into club. So are you saying just all non-attack Tough Nut? Is that basically what you're saying? Where the hand scales? tries putting you in timeout after living it. It seems that way. It's all the yellow sixes and romping club. I see. Mm. So it's like cheeky, right? Like I get that you're essentially turning the club into a one card five, which is great. Problem is that your hand's not going to scale at all, like at all. Period. Um, and so you're blocking for 4, 3, 3, and then attacking for 4, which is basically 5 with the math a little backwards. Um, so when I first played Tough Nut, I went on that route as well. I was like, okay, Romping Club seems more consistent. It seems more a little bit more viable. But the conclusion that I ultimately came to, and why I chose the Rock for the Blue Pitch Show match, was the only way that I could consistently do above rate things in Tough Nut that didn't allow my, because toughness is it's a double edged sword, right? Like if you play against a good opponent, they can like undercut the value on toughness by how they attack, or it's sometimes it's literally useless against certain heroes. Um, so I found that the only way that I could do above rate things often was by swinging rock. It comes at a price. It's not as consistent, things like that. But um, for PB rates, it seems strong, but perhaps Ninja OP. Yeah. Well, time for a tier list. The savagery in chat. We are due for a living legend tier list very shortly. Um, so clearly Talishar had we played one of the worst games in Fab and it broke Talishar. Is what that's the story that I'm gonna go with. Um, but I'm glad all of you joined me for that experience. Not so you can learn what to do, but you can learn what not to do. And but also on a serious note, I enjoyed the conversation at the beginning of the stream talking about all the different topics, especially the LL, because that was more of a I didn't know, and I was curious of what the community's thoughts were. And what I wanted to do was create a place where a lot of people could have just very clearly communicated their opinions on LL and without the noise of like, you know, Twitter posts that are clickbaity and straight to the point, a little bit too aggressive, passive aggressive, whatever the case may be. But just have a general constructive discussion about the format on the stream, and I think it went really well in regards to like actually not just throwing our hands up saying it sucks, or on the flip side, just being overwhelmingly positive for no reason, right? I think we had a lot of very good constructive points. We talked about how the biggest weakness in Fab right now is kind of the cost of entry. It's been a topic that's been on the chopping block for quite some time, and how LL kind of creates a second instance of that friction, which is a very valid point. We also talked about how the living legend hero situation, where like let's say you're an Oldham fan, right? As long as Starvo is playable, there will never be a meta reason to play Oldham, in my opinion. There could be a cringe moment, and if something like CYB existed, then maybe. But the bands have kind of really nailed that home, and I don't think taking certain cards out really is going to make a big change there. So I kind of suggested the situation of having seasons in LL where you kind of remove some heroes from the card pool and then put them back in and kind of rotate them out. That way, if you are an Oldham player, you get that opportunity to play in a meta where that is maybe the best Guardian, or maybe it's not, or whatever the case may be. But maybe it's just more competitive, and that's good enough. So I'm just interested on how LL is going to perform, and kind of the data that we have so far. It does look a little rough, not gonna lie, but it's early. We got to give it time, and I think Worlds is going to ultimately just give us the answer. Um, you know, that we're looking for. And I hope that people can find a way to enjoy it. I will say that playing the games have not been the most amazing, right? But I will say that the discovery and the deck building aspect and like solving overwhelmingly powerful problems have been it's felt rewarding. Um, that may not be enough for some players. Like maybe the juice is not worth the squeeze in that situation. I perfectly understand. But my main point is to basically say, give it a good college try before you just write it off. Like, I mean, give it. Don't just copy and paste what the prior meta was, but like try to solve some of the problems. Um, and maybe you'll come to the same conclusion that I did. That there's a lot of decks. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Everybody thought that Zen was the deck to beat going into after the bans, right? They were like, "Oh my god, Zen, his Ira's gone and Chain got hit. Like Zen is just the best deck on the planet." Okay, I am calling it now. That hero is dog shit in LL, and there's going to be some people that are going to be like, "You don't know what the fuck you're talking about," and I'm telling you, there will be some people that are tricked into playing it, but Zen you are trying to play against 2 decks. You wanna play against Dromai, maybe, and you will play against Viscerai because you have Zen State Token. That is it. If you play against anything else, guess what? You're unfavored. Um, that's just the reality of it. Like, that hero that the community was like myself included, I'm not exempt from this. It was like, this is, like, a really good deck because of prior, knowledge and information. That deck is dog shit, okay? I'm just gonna throw that out there. Um, so if if you think that the format is solved, spend a little bit more time on it because I don't think that it carries the same nuance as the last format. Is all I'm going to say. I think the hero removal of Starvo is needed to put LL in a pace for better BNR decision. It could be. It could be. I'm a huge Oldham fan. He was my main for years. I still miss him, but you're right. Starvo keeps Oldham in check. Absolutely. All right. Well, we tried to play games. We literally tried and Talishar died. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And I will see everybody next week. We probably won't have the LL tier list that we won't have it next week, but probably the week after. I need to figure out a couple more things in the format, but I feel like I got a good grasp on it right now. Way more than I did 2 weeks ago, that's for sure. So, still learning every day, but thanks for joining me, and I really do appreciate it. And I'll see everybody next week. Take care.